Clutch Sports Talk. Let's go. Good morning, everyone. Happy New Year to you guys. It's me, your boy Ryan Flowers, aka Clutch Sports Talk in the house. It's Sunday, week 17. You know what that means. It's NFL Sunday morning with me. Listen, week 17, it's heating up. This should have been the last week of the season, but don't forget, we have another week next week. But anyway, nonetheless, a lot of playoff situations and scenarios today we gotta get to. Also, I gotta talk about the passing of John Madden. I have some thoughts on that. And Big Ben Roethlisberger playing his final game in Heinz Field today. I'll share my thoughts on him and what I think about him as a player and what does it mean for him. Is he a Hall of Famer? I'll discuss that. And also, I got to give you guys my power rankings. Not a lot has changed, but definitely some things up for debate. And finally, my clutch picks of the week. I can't get it right this year, man. I don't know what's going on with me. I was 1-3 last week, so looking to try to bounce back and get back to 500. But hey, it is what it is. That's why it's called gambling. You got to take your chances. But anyway, nonetheless, let's get this show rolling. So sit back and relax and enjoy the show. This is Clutch Sports Talk NFL Sunday morning with me, Ryan Flowers. Let's go. Welcome. Good morning, everyone. Hope you guys are doing all right. It's week 17 in the National Football League, and we have lots to digest and break down. So let's just get straight into it. But before we talk about the playoff scenarios and power rankings and who's in, who's out, who's in the bubble, who's in the hunt, who's got it locked up, obviously I would be remiss if I did not talk about the passing of the legendary Hall of Famer coach John Madden. He passed away a couple of days ago. I believe it was the 28th. I believe he passed away. He was 85 years old. Listen, I know I'm late, obviously, but I didn't post something on my social media platforms. But hey, John Madden, like he coached 10 years for the Oakland Raiders. Obviously, I was not old enough to see him coach because he coached between 1969 and 1978. He won one Super Bowl with the Raiders. I believe he's still the most winningest coach in Oakland Raider history. He had, I believe, a 72% winning average, which is really good. Obviously, that's why he's in the Hall of Fame. But for me, growing up, the notable impact that he had on the game, from my perspective, as a child growing, a kid and a teenager, and as an adult growing up, was his contributions in the media. Obviously, when he covered games, he's the only, if I'm not mistaken, he is the only person, excuse me, to have covered a Super Bowl for every major network in this country. So ABC, NBC, Fox, CBS, whatever. Pretty remarkable. And not only did he cover these games, his colorful commentary really, really brought folks who were maybe novices in regards to football knowledge and terminology and things of that nature. I remember growing up watching him. I'll never forget I believe it was the Super Bowl. It was the Bills and the Giants. I forgot what year it was. And he broke down the water cooler or the Gatorade jug, like, and as a kid, I'm thinking, why is this guy talking about Gatorade jugs, but he was very, 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 very informative in regards to that. And I threw that out because that's so funny, because he could take anything and he can break it down for you. And that's what John Madden was all about, man. And we got really comments flowing in already. Barry Grant, good morning, sir. How you doing? He said, John Madden is the ultimate model of greatness and longevity. Absolutely. And, it's crazy too. The man had a fear of flying, so he created the bus, the Madden bus, right? So he would drive all over to the country to get to his games. So that was an interesting fact about him. But let's just get into the game itself, the Madden football game. His name is on it. For you, the younger generation, they don't know him as a color commentary guy. They don't know him as a football coach, but they do know him from his game. I have a 6-year-old. He doesn't know that he was a coach. He knows the game because we play the game, obviously. And I bring up the game because of how important it is. And you're like, well, how's Madden, the football game, important? Well, I think it taught a lot of people the game. I think honestly, a lot of us today, especially my generation, maybe a little younger, they understand football because of the Madden game. I remember growing up playing Madden. learning the football plays, learning what this play did. And then there was one game where you could actually go in and create plays, and you can. So I remember going in back in high school, and I would get my high school playbook and I would input that into Madden, and I would study that. I would learn it. I could actually see it in motion. You know what I mean? Versus just a coach telling you, "Hey, read a playbook." So I think he taught a lot of us the game of football, which is a good thing, and sometimes it could be a bad thing because you got a lot of people who take that information and they abuse it because they think they know everything. But definitely, thoughts and prayers go out to John Madden. We definitely lost a legend. Obviously, he wasn't as active in the community anymore because he was old and he was suffering from pancreatic cancer. But his contribution to the National Football League is a legacy that will live on forever and will never die. You know what I mean? So he's a legend. He's a legend. Heroes may be remembered, but legends never die. And John Madden is definitely a legend. And hopefully, when you watch a game today, pour a little something for him if you're able to drink, or just keep him in your thoughts, because it's because of him we have some of the things that we have today. So John Madden passing away, 85 years old. So shout out to the coach, man. And I don't know what else I can say about it. I mean, there's nothing much more. He was a great man. So all right, moving on. Ben Roethlisberger reported that this is it. He will play his final game in Heinz Field. Doesn't mean he didn't say he was retiring, but I would hope that he would, because it's time for him to go. Honestly, I mean, he's a great player. So this today will be the final game. He'll lace them up for the Pittsburgh Steelers at home in front of the hometown fans. Here's the thing. I had someone ask me, is Ben Roethlisberger a Hall of Famer? Yeah, I think so. I think he's had the way he shot into the league. Obviously, you can't look at him for what he is now, because he's a shambles. I mean, he's a fraction of what he used to be. He probably should have hung him up about 2 years ago, and that's if he decides to hang him up now, right? If you look at his stats, he's thrown for over 63,000 yards, 64% pass completion, 416 touchdowns, in a very illustrious career. He's got the 2 Super Bowl wins, 6 Pro Bowls, no MVPs. He was Rookie of the Year in 2004 when he bursted on the scene. I mean, literally, his rookie year, they went like I don't even know what they went like 12 or 13 games, right? And no one expected that. A kid coming out of Miami, Ohio. What else could you say about that, right? But he ends up going on, having this great career, the 2 great Super Bowl wins. Obviously, there's some asterisk. Some people would say the Super Bowl win against the Seattle Seahawks. It is what it is. They go back and beat the Arizona Cardinals later on with Mike Tomlin. And honestly, he's helped own that division, the AFC North, which is having a changing of the guard this year, right? Big Ben was never a guy that, when you thought about quarterbacking, like, he was never the guy you thought first, right? You always had Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, Drew Breeses, all these other guys, Eli Manning's even per se. But he definitely is somebody that you do have to consider because of the wins and what he was able to do in the league for a long time. I mean, up until now, with these injuries that have basically, I wouldn't say derailed his career, because he's had a long career. He's had a long career. Is he a first ballot Hall of Famer? I don't think so, but he definitely is well deserving of a Hall of Fame vote. And honestly, I wouldn't be mad if people voted him first time, but I think there's a lot of other great players out there that need to get in, who should be first time Hall of Fame voters or ballot guys. So he's definitely, to me, a Hall of Famer. And if you can't understand that, then I mean, I don't know what else to prove to you. I mean, he's, like I said, do the Super Bowl wins mean a lot? Okay, maybe, yeah, it does. But you got guys like Dan Marino who never won a Super Bowl. So does that mean they can't be Hall of Famers? I mean, you have to take the Super Bowls with a grain of salt, because the Hall of Famer is about what you did as a player. How did you impact the game? And there was a time where Big Ben was lighting it up, man. Like, and not even that long ago. Let's just say 4 or 5 years ago, he was up there. But then, he started to get older. He's not a workout guru. He doesn't really train like that, like all these other guys do. That's not his game. That's not his game. I remember when he first came in, you could not tackle Big Ben. He would sit there and hold on to that ball. He would stand in the pocket, man. But now again, time has flown by. He's a lot older now, but he definitely made an impact on the game. Like I said, his teams own that division for almost over a decade, right? And we're just finally seeing now. All right, they're not going to win the division this year. At least I don't think so, because I think the Bengals can maybe wrap that up today. But his career, but he's played what he 2004, 2004. That's when he was drafted, and then like again, the way he bursted onto the scene, man, it was pretty unprecedented for him. I'm trying to find his rookie year stats. Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, so he played 14 games. He went 13-0 because he took over. He took over. And they went on that run. I mean, he was doing his thing. He threw for 17 touchdowns. Obviously, the picks were up, but nonetheless, the guy's a Hall of Famer. He's definitely a Hall of Famer. He's got 40 comeback wins, 52 game-winning drives. That's a lot. That's a lot, man. And I know he's not he's not as flashy as some of these other guys that you may see, but definitely worthy of a Hall of Fame vote. If I had a vote at some point, I would vote for Ben Roethlisberger to get in the Hall of Fame and leave it. I'm not going to remember him for what he is now. I'm going to remember him what he did prior to what he is now, because obviously, if you look at him now, he's not that guy. Trust me, you're not that guy, right? The famous meme, right? But definitely Ben Roethlisberger is a Hall of Famer. So kudos to him. Hopefully he hangs him up, man. Hopefully next week will be his last game. It would have been nice if they got their home game next week. But either way, those fans, if you're getting to the game, man, make sure you shout out Big Ben, because he did a lot for Pittsburgh. He did a lot for that organization. Him and Mike Tomlin were, that was an underrated quarterback coach duo for quite some time. They got a Super Bowl together. So I'll leave it at that. So listen up. Playoffs. Yeah, we got playoffs talking about. We got a couple scenarios. I'm going to break down some of these games and let you know like what could be the outcome, especially for those teams. Oops, what's going on here? My computer keeps doing this. I don't know why. But anyway, we got to talk about the teams that are going to actually have a chance to get in the playoffs. So real quick, I want to talk about the Chiefs and Bengals today. What's on the line for that game today? The Chiefs have pretty much wrapped up. They have wrapped up the AFC West, so that's done. Concerning, I didn't think they would even win that division a couple months ago. They were looking pretty bad. Oddly enough, now they're looking to sew up the number one seed with the win over the Bengals today. So this is a big game for both teams because the Bengals need to win to wrap up the NFC North, or a Ravens loss, which I think is probably going to happen anyway because the Rams should handle business there. So that should be no problem there. I don't know why my computer keeps doing that, but anyway, what else? Other games here: Rams and Ravens. Rams could wrap up the NFC West today. Obviously, with the help of the Cardinals losing a game today. So they need to win, and they need the Cardinals to lose to the Cowboys today, which is a possibility, which is a very good possibility. And the Ravens need to win to stay alive, because right now the Ravens are on the outside looking in. Lamar Jackson is still a game time decision, I would say. If anything, Huntley, is the name of the quarterback? Huntley, he might get the start. Tyler Huntley, he might get the start, but we don't know what his status is either, too. So very interesting. The Ravens season, man, it's sad because it's like a wash, because they had a lot of injuries on defense early on in the year. The running backs, the defensive backs, Lamar Jackson having COVID, hurting his ankle. It was kind of like the beginning and the end for this team. They're starting to unravel. So I don't really see them getting in this year, unfortunately. Falcons and Bills. Bills have a chance to pretty much solidify themselves as the AFC East champs, which they should. I mean, they're playing the Falcons. Although the Falcons, they do give people a sporting effort, but the game, I believe, is in Buffalo. But the Bills can clinch a spot definitely today with the Ravens loss, Chargers, and I believe the Raiders. So, but even if they lose, they'll probably still make the playoffs because they're up there right now. But as far as the Falcons are concerned, they're in the hunt, but really, they don't really have a chance. They just don't. Raiders and Colts, big game for both teams. Obviously, the Raiders are still in the hunt. They're not quite in yet, but the Colts definitely looking to keep doing what they're doing. They're riding like a 3-game winning streak, beating some really, really good teams, really good defensive teams, and they're looking to take that in today in their home game against the Raiders today. Let's see here. For the most part, I had some notes here. Let's see here. What did I write for this? Pretty much. Hey, just keep winning. Raiders need to keep winning. That's for sure. If the Raiders don't win, they're pretty much done. Colts, they can believe they can clinch a spot today as well. That's what I'm looking for here in my notes here. But yeah, that's what we need to know there. So it should be an interesting game because the Raiders are one of those teams where one week they look really bad and the next week they'll put up a fight. So hopefully the Colts don't fall prey to their competition and they actually come out and play hard. So that'll be an interesting game to watch as well. Dolphins and Titans. This is a very good one too because look, for whatever it's worth, the Dolphins started off the year 1-7. Now they won their last 8 in a row to become 8-7, and they're actually in a playoff spot right now. They're the 7th seed right now in the playoff, which is pretty remarkable because look, I know Tua's been playing decent, but come on, man. I don't have their schedule pulled up, but from what I remember, it's filled with a lot of Jacksonville Jaguars and Jets and Texans. And today might be a little bit more of a test to see what they can do. The Titans coming off a really, really big win. I believe it was it Monday Night Football or Thursday Night Football? I forgot. Against the Niners. It's pretty much if the Titans win today, they wrap up the AFC South. And that's it. And other thing, the Colts have to lose too, if I'm not mistaken. But still, they keep winning. They got to do what they got to do. The Dolphins are the 7th seed. They own their own destiny. Just keep winning. Because obviously if they lose, they'll be 8-8. They'll fall back a little bit. Just keep winning if you're the Dolphins. And if you Dolphin fans out there, shout out to them. I mean, look, Brian Flores, a lot of people were calling for his head. And look where they are now. I think he's a good coach. Look, for you to turn around a team like that mid-season, that's hard, man. It's hard, and he was able to do that. So you can't choose who you play. They played who they played. They won the games they were supposed to win. This is a game today. They should probably go out and they need to win this game to stay in the hunt. So another notable game, Jets Bucks. Bucks really much. Jets are out of the playoffs mathematically. Fun fact: there are only about 8 teams that are mathematically out of the playoff, which is cool. So that's more than I wouldn't say. Obviously, it's more than half of the league is still vying for a playoff spot. So there is some parity in the National Football League this year. The Buccaneers are in the playoffs. They won the South. It is what it is. If anything, that's it. I don't think they can really win. I think they might be in contention still for the 1 seed, but they need a lot of help because there's other teams above them right now. So they need the Packers to lose. They need the Chargers. The Cowboys to lose. They need the Rams. So they have a lot going on, but they're definitely in the playoffs. So we won't spend too much time with that. What's the other game out here that I had notes on? Jags and Patriots. Listen, Patriots need to get off this schneid. Listen, they have not played good. They've lost their last 2 games, the Colts, and then last week to the Bills at home. Obviously, Jaguars are out of the playoffs, but they're slated to be the number 1 pick. They keep going at what they're doing. But the Patriots are in the playoffs, I would say but they're still fighting for position. So they need to continue to win these games in order to solidify a top seed in the AFC. But hopefully they can get right today against the Jacksonville Jaguars. All right. Philadelphia, Washington football team. It's Washington football team. They're still mathematically in it. They lose today, they're done. Eagles right now are the 7th seed. They've turned out a pretty solid season considering I didn't think they would have, right? I was not a fan of their coach, Nick Sirianni. But look, they're 8-7 right now. They're battling. They win again today. They're pretty much going to hold off a lot of people for 1 more week in regards to but listen, they can still actually, matter of fact, I take that back. They can actually clinch a playoff berth today if they get losses from the Saints, the Vikings, which is a possibility because the Vikings are without Kirk Cousins tonight against the Packers. And then the Saints haven't looked that good either. They're coming off a loss to the Dolphins. So yeah, the Eagles actually might make the playoffs. So they do need some help, but they got to help themselves by winning first. Giants and Bears, no one cares. Broncos Chargers, these 2 teams are still in the hunt as well. Chargers doing Chargers things last week. And I get it. They had a lot of guys on COVID. But come on, you got to beat the Texans. You got to beat the Texans. Broncos losing last week to the Bengals. That kind of put a cramp in their playoff style there. But, but no team, they still need a lot of help. They need to win, but they need a lot of teams to help them lose. They need the Pittsburghs, Miamis. They need Baltimore to lose. And I don't know. So their chance, the Chargers maybe have a better chance, but I think that loss last week to the Texans really, really just dampened their playoff bid. Obviously, then Cowboys. Well, sorry, we got Texans, Niners. No one cares about the Texans. The Niners are still in the hunt. I believe they're in the playoffs right now. I believe they're the 6th seed. So just continue to win. Trey Lance probably will get the start today, but just keep winning. Just keep winning. But I think they can clinch today too with the help of some other teams like New Orleans losing today. That's what my notes say. And the Cardinals, Cowboys. Listen, this is a big game for the Cowboys, and more so for the Cardinals, right? Because the Cardinals, they've dropped their last 2 or 3 in a row. They're traveling on the road to Dallas. Dallas's defense is hot right now. Still no D-Hop. Kyler Murray pressing a little bit. They've fallen. I mean, we were just talking about not even about a month ago, Cardinals, the number 1 seed in the NFC, and now they're looking to just hang around in there right now. I believe they're the 5th. They're the 5th right now. So, and they're probably going to lose out on the division, especially if they lose today. So, this is a very big game. And as far as the Cowboys are concerned, the Cowboys have wrapped up the NFC East. Thank God. That's a wrap. But they definitely are looking to clinch the NFC, but it's going to take some help. They need the Vikings to basically pull off a miracle today without Kirk Cousins. But the Cardinals will make the playoffs. I mean, the Cardinals will make the playoffs, but it just depends on where they're going to fall at. But honestly, I don't think the Cowboys really have a shot at wrapping up the number 1 seed. So a loss here really doesn't affect them for the most part. It is what it is. But obviously, you want to keep winning. You want to keep winning at least this game, and then you rest starters next week when you play the Eagles, because a lot of this stuff is going to be finished today. We're going to know what's what today. There might be a team or two next week that we have to look into, but for the most part, we know what it is. Panthers, Saints, that's done. Lions, Seahawks, they're done. I talked a little about the Vikings and Packers. The Packers will probably be the number 1 seed, so all roads to the Super Bowl will have to go through Lambeau. Obviously, right now, unless the Vikings just pull off something. But the Vikings are still fighting for a playoff spot, so maybe, just maybe, they have a chance there. But the Vikings will if they lose today, they're done as well, which is more likely that's what's going to happen. Sorry for you Vikings and Viking fans out there. Browns, Steelers. Browns are pretty much, they're toast too. Steelers are still jockeying for position there. You got playoff implications for them. Both teams could be eliminated this weekend. The Brown season ends basically with the Bengals win over the Dolphins. I mean, with the Bengals and Dolphins win, and Chargers win. So those teams win. Any one of those teams win, they're done. They're done. The Steelers can be done too if they lose. If they lose today, obviously, if you lose, and Chargers, Ravens, and Raiders and Dolphins win. So they're still in the hunt. It's a slight chance. Appreciate it, Bryson. He loves the background. You already know where I'm at. I'm in Bank of America Stadium today. Big game for the Cowboys, right? Keeping it moving, and that's it. And that's pretty much it. Those are the playoff scenarios for the teams that are in the hunt. That are teams that are in the playoffs right now. It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. A lot to take in for sure. But listen, a lot of stuff is going to get resolved today. So that's why this is probably the biggest week of the year in the National Football League. It is, because a lot, again, like I said, I believe 8 out of 32 teams are eliminated. So there's still a lot of teams that are now. Some of these percentages are really low. Like some teams have like a 15% chance. But hey, if you got 15%, that's still a chance. That's definitely still a chance, right? So you never know what could happen. All right. So those are the scenarios, man. Let's really quickly let's break down the power rankings for me. It's pretty much the same from last week. I didn't really change anything. Chiefs still number 1. They're one of the hottest teams in the National Football League. Packers, they're still, even though I am a little skeptical about their defense, but they got Aaron Rodgers, and pretty much he erases a lot of their problems. That's what it's been like that. It's been like that in Green Bay for quite some time since he's been there. Buccaneers, I'm still rolling with them, even though they do have some injuries to the wide receiver room. They got Tom Brady. And that's how big that's how big of a factor our quarterbacks are. Even though they don't have these other guys, they have those quarterbacks. And to me, that's I'm not I'm definitely not just I'm not gonna pick against him. We got the Rams at 4, the Colts at 5. Well, Barry says I have the Rams over the Cowboys. I do right now. I trust their offense a little bit more. I liked what I saw. Yeah, here's a quote right there. I like what I saw against Washington football team, but OBJ is heating up with Matthew Stafford, and like I said, I believe it was it last week Sunday or Monday on one of my shows? I forgot. OBJ is the difference maker on that team, not Cooper Kupp. I like Cooper Kupp, but OBJ is that guy. He's that guy, and he's starting to, fill in that role very nicely there in LA. He's showing that he does have that pep in his step, because a lot of people, including myself, said, he might be washed. So he's proving us wrong. He's proving me wrong, at least. And the Colts, yes, I do have the Colts because, again, it's all about. I'm not ready to put. He says, "Am I ready to apologize?" No, I'm not ready to apologize. No, it's still early. I'm just giving him his props, because like it's something's gonna happen eventually, and if it doesn't, then I'll apologize, right? But not right now. Not so fast. And at the Colts at 5, just because they're on a hot streak, and the Cowboys were on a hot streak too. But I just like the way that the Colts they beat the Patriots. That was a good win. They went on the road. They beat the Cardinals, even though they were depleted. They're missing Darius Leonard. They're missing 3 out of their 5 offensive linemen. Those are things that are hard to overcome. So I like that. Even though you look at the Cowboys, they went undefeated in December. You look at some of their defensive stats. Yes, I understand that, but it's hard to lose, especially your linemen, and you're a running football team. To me, you get a couple extra brownie points for that. Cowboys still solid at 6. If that offense can replicate what we saw last week Sunday night, they're easily back in the top 3, because you pair that with that defense, and then the offense, the way we saw what it was, that's an unstoppable force. So I still like them at 6 right now. My boy Bryson says still have Cowboys over the Packers. Green Bay can't stop the run, and Tampa Bay secondary. Yeah, but I'm not going against those quarterbacks. And honestly, right now, if I compare Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, and Dak, I love Dak, but I'm kind of more inclined to go with Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. That's the only difference. Team wise, yeah, I think the Cowboys stack up, but those quarterbacks, man, they make a big difference. And so that's why I still have them up where I have them. That's how I'm justifying it. I got the Bills at 7. They're good win off for them. They look like they were kind of stumbling a little bit. They caught themselves, and they beat the Patriots last week on the road in a really good, solid win. Tennessee Titans at number 8. They bounced back, even though they were in the top 3 at one point in my power rankings. They've fallen. Obviously, they had some hardship games there. They lost Derrick Henry, but Ryan Tannehill starting to play well. They got AJ Brown. That should help out their offense. Maybe they get Julio back, maybe at some point in the playoffs. I don't know, but if AJ Brown can just take his game to the next level, which I think he can, this will be a hard team. They're a well-coached team, and they play hard. I don't expect them to get blown out by a lot of teams. They may not have enough firepower in the end, but they're a well-coached team. We've seen that through Mike Vrabel's tenure there in Tennessee. So I still like them at number 8. And then the Arizona Cardinals, they fall into number 9. Listen, Kyler Murray is being asked to do a lot right now. No D-Hop. James Connors hasn't played. I didn't think he played last week. Maybe they get him back today, get running the ball. He is undefeated in Cowboy Stadium in college, high school, and as a professional. He's 7-0. Let's see if he goes to 8-0. I doubt it. I think the Cowboys remember what happened last year to them on Monday Night Football. So we'll see about that. But yeah, this team is they're a good team. But what I've noticed with Cliff Kingsbury teams, especially as a professional coach, they start to fade in the end. So they started off hot, for a while, right? Some injuries come, and they start to fade. So I think this is part of this whole process of them. They need to find themselves, obviously, but they're fading, and I don't really like their chances anymore at this point. Patriots, another team that's kind of fading a little bit. Mac Jones is going to have to play a little bit better, or not better, but just he's going to have to elevate his game in order for them to be considered again as a Super Bowl champion contending team. Their defense is good, but they're going to need some offense in the playoffs. You can't just run the ball all the time. You're going to have to throw the ball down the field. I still like them. They're a well-coached team. They can beat you. But listen, they are limited at the quarterback position as of right now, and maybe Mac Jones can figure that out. So those are the power rankings. Like them, love them, leave them. It is what it is, and that's that. So keep it moving here. Oh, I even forgot this, so all right, before I get out of here, man, we got to do the clutch picks of the week. Gosh, I was 1-3 last week. Jesus. It was terrible. It was terrible, man. Like literally within about halftime, I was like, nope, that game's done. I lost that one. So today, hopefully, man, with one more week, I'm just trying to get back to 500. I'm 23-25 overall, because I only pick 4 games a week, and there was like a week I took off just because I was out of town traveling. So if you're trying to figure out why like, the games don't match up, I only pick 4 games a week. And about 1 or 2 weeks I did not pick because I was out of town or doing something else. But today I got the Chiefs covering at -4. They've been blowing out people. They've been just coming in and rough shotting people. So they got the Bengals today. Bengals a good team, but I think the Chiefs should actually cover this game today. So I like them. I like the LA Rams to cover at -6.5 over the maybe the Lamar Jackson-less Baltimore Ravens, maybe. So that should be a game they need to dominate. They need to handle their business there. I like the Colts today, -8.5 against the Raiders, and I like the under in the Dolphins and Titans game. So that's, man, dude, if I can go undefeated, that'll be legit today. That'll be legit. That'll put me at 27-25. So versus where I'm at now. So give me a little buffer going into week 8. My goal right now is just to finish at 500. That's the goal. So hopefully I can do that. But hey, that's how it goes, man. You win some, you lose some. So it is what it is. So all right. Whoa. That's all I got, man. It's we're about half an hour away from week 17 games kicking off. Listen, again, happy new year to everybody, man. Lamar is out. Rams got to handle up. So we're getting reports from Bryson Carver carving a podcast. Lamar Jackson is out, which I'm, it's sad. He's a good player, but I don't know. I won't say nothing bad about him because he's hurt today. So when he gets back, I'll talk about Lamar Jackson some more. But I definitely got some thoughts on him. So that's it, man. I'm done. I'm done for today. You guys can catch me tomorrow on my Clutch Sports Talk live show. I'll be recapping some of the events and news from today, week 17. Also, got to talk about college football, the playoff, right? Like, listen, college football, we have a problem, but we knew we had a problem. Bama and Georgia are the cream of the crop, and all these other people thinking, oh, my team. Like, listen, man, it's how many guys are on the field are going to be playing on Sundays. That's what I look at when I evaluate a college team. And you look at some of these other schools, they got 1 or 2, 3 guys. Between Bama and Georgia, you're looking at like 20-something guys. So, I got to talk about that tomorrow. Also, Ohio State, the Jackson Smith, I forgot the kids in the other part of his last name, 347 yards, reception, 3 touchdowns in the Rose Bowl. That's legit. And then also LeBron. I got to talk about LeBron, of course, tomorrow. So you don't want to miss out. Make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel. It doesn't work unless you subscribe to the YouTube channel. So make sure you guys do that and enjoy today's games. I'm out. I'm going to go make some breakfast because I'm hungry over here. So anyway, and guys, listen, enjoy today's game and go Cowboys. And maybe I can do my little dance again today if the Cowboys win. So I'm out of here. You guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday. This is Clutch Sports Talk NFL Sunday morning with me, Ryan Flowers. Never settle till the work is done. I'll see you guys later. Peace.